Today on Judge Faith, the cost of a neighborhood fender bender is contested in court.
After me telling them that the damage is about $1,500, she was like, you just trying to come up.
And he put them extra bandangles on there.
After I told her that was the police, she started holding her chest like she had a heart attack, like this.
I did not clutch my chest and act like spread simple. Well, I haven't drove in 30 years.
Unfortunately for you, the one time you do drive, you have an accident. You hit somebody's trailer.
That's the truth.
And later, a deal between buddies to fix a busted car goes bad.
You want to be paid for your labor. So
Right.
why didn't you sue for that? Because you're suing for storage. You and I have the same reaction. Shrug. What do you want me to do?
Plaintiff Stanley Brown says the defendant backed out of her driveway and crashed into his trailer. He's suing for damages to a utility trailer. Defendant Opal Tyson says she doesn't owe because she paid for the damage she caused, and Stanley's just trying to soak her for extra money. She's countersuing for harassment. She's accompanied in court today by Janella Gossett.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Brown versus Tyson.
Thank you, Juan. Stanley Brown,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing the defendant Opal Tyson.
Yes, Your
My
Honor.
auntie,
Okay, and you are
Janella Gossett, her niece.
her
Your
niece.
Honor.
Okay, and her witness. You are suing the defendant for $1,300 for damages to a trailer you say she caused?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are countersuing, ma'am, for $500 for harassment
And stress.
and stress.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we start with you, sir? Tell me what's going on.
Hi, on June 2015, I was out cutting grass across the street from the defendant's house. After pulling my lawnmower out of my trailer, I began to cut grass and look up in my trailer, but the alarm was going off. So I look and the defendant is pulling her car off of my trailer. She had backed out of her driveway into my trailer.
Okay.
So one of her family's member came out of the house and was like, "Oh, you don't have any license, Ma. You ain't got your auntie. You don't have your glasses on."
Yeah. You heard something.
Yes.
And you turned around and you saw the defendant in a car, and her car was actually backed up against your trailer.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see the photos you submitted to court.
This is a brand new trailer. I've only had it for like maybe 1 month.
Okay, so and this is the damage you say she caused?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said you saw someone run out to her and tell her you don't have your glasses or your driver's license?
Correct.
Okay, who was that person? Do you know?
I believe it was the witness that's standing next to
Oh,
her.
her. Okay. Well, hold on one second. And so then you go over and what happens?
So I had to get a crowbar and a hammer to pull the fender out of the tire.
Wow.
So therefore, there was another family member who came out of the house after me explaining that you just hit my brand new trailer. I paid, it's gonna be about $1,500 worth of damage. So another family member came out.
You
came
knew
running.
that just from looking at the
Yes.
that it was going to be $1,500 worth of damage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So therefore, another family member came out of the house, running out of the house. After me telling them that the damage is about $1,500, she was like, you just trying to come up. You just trying to come up. It don't cost that much to get that trailer fixed. We can fix that ourselves.
Right.
I'm a police
Did
officer.
you call the police? Oh, you are a police officer.
Yes, ma'am.
I was about to ask
didn't
you,
call
did you
the police.
No.
Because
Why you calling the police?
I didn't
In
want
what city, sir?
In Detroit.
In what city? In Detroit?
In Detroit.
Okay.
I didn't want to call the police because I knew that she didn't have a driver's license and she didn't have an insurance, and they would have towed her car and they would have given her a ticket. But I didn't want to do
Did
that.
you tell her they were going to lock her up?
No, I didn't tell her they would lock her up. But after I told her that was the police, she started holding her chest like she had a heart attack, like this. So
He lied.
Mr. Brown,
So-
are you gonna do reenactment, sir? Or are you gonna tell me about the case?
I'm just telling
You
you.
lied. I did not clutch my chest and act like spread simple. That's an out-and-out lie.
Right, just showing
I
up.
decided to handle it this way and just get an estimate that she agreed to sign. If I got an estimate, she would pay
Did she give you any money that day? Didn't she give you $100?
After I went and got an estimate, she gave me $100, and she said that she would pay me some more money the next month.
Okay, what is the total damage for the estimate you got?
I have one estimate that is for $1,800, and I have one for $1,245.
Okay, let me hear from you, Miss Opal, Miss Tyson.
Listen, somebody had to move the car, and wasn't nobody out there. And I
Why did
just
somebody have to move the car?
Because it was a car ahead, and the young man had to go to work.
Okay.
So I eased up, and I barely bumped him. And he gonna talk about $1,500. I said, man, all I got on me is $100. So if you want that, because I didn't think it was
That
a whole
bad.
lot of damage.
Well, did you see the damage of the photo? That seems pretty significant. You were there, too.
Here's the damage on his. Now here's the damage on mine.
Right.
Now you figure it out for
She didn't have any
yourself.
damage on her car.
She didn't have none because she didn't hit
Right.
it that hard.
But you,
I eased back
hold on a second.
into it.
Okay, so this is the same, you took these photos, right, ma'am?
Right, and here he
When
is.
did you take these?
After he got through banging on it.
What do
and
you mean?
twisted, he used the vice grips or something like that and was bending and banging on his car. So I figured he put just more damage than my auntie.
The fender of your car was stuck to the trailer. It was not stuck.
It was not
He just
stuck.
He did
barely
not
bumped it.
He did
Right.
not have to pry it apart.
No.
You were backing out, moving
Yes.
the car
Yeah.
because someone needed to leave, and you were then just
Easing
going to
my car out the way.
And you hit the trailer. Did you know you hit it?
Yeah, a bump. I didn't know, but I didn't think, I just tapped the car.
Okay, and these are your photos.
Yes.
These are your photos. Did you have insurance on your car, ma'am?
Yeah, but it had lapsed.
So that's no.
No, that's
Okay.
me offering $100.
Okay.
He came and got the $100 and talking about a deposit. Why would I say a deposit? He came on later on that evening and took my $100. And on here he got deposit. He hadn't got no estimate. That was the same day.
Miss Gossett, what did you witness in terms of the defendant trying to fix the trailer at the scene?
Oh, he was hitting it with
Bending
a
and
plier.
banging and
With what, ma'am?
it looked like vice grips or a hammer.
Trying to do what?
I guess he was bending. I think he was putting more dents in it so he could charge it more.
Okay, and did you try to fix it get the dent out of it?
I had to pull the fender out of the tire because it was stuck in the tire. I thought that the tire was going to go flat.
Okay, and so these photos were taken after you tried to get the fender out of the trailer's tire?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license?
No, he's right about that. I told him that.
And why don't you have a license?
Because I don't drive anymore. I
just
just
moved
only did that because my nephew had to go to work.
So the only reason why you were in the car at all, you were trying to move it. And
just move it
unfortunately
out.
for you, the one time you do drive, you have an accident. You hit somebody's trailer.
That's the truth. I haven't drove in 30 years. I don't drive.
Coming up, are the estimates inflated?
It's a brand new trailer. I would like it to be the way it was.
They gave me these estimates right here, Your Honor, and told me it don't cost no $1,500, $1,800, or nothing like that to fix it.
And later, an agreement to fix a car gets complicated.
Why don't you at that point go get the car?
Because he didn't want to give it to me. He told me, if you want to get the car, you got to pay me.
Okay, so that's what this is really about.
Plaintiff Stanley Brown says Opal crashed her car into his trailer. He's suing for damages to a utility trailer. Defendant Opal Tyson says she doesn't know because she paid for the damage she caused. She's countersuing for harassment.
It don't cost what he's talking about
We got estimates too.
for a new one. That only cost $100.
How did you get an estimate? You don't own the trailer. How
I
did you get an
used that
estimate?
picture.
I took the picture there to the trailer place to make sure my auntie see, so they can see what's going on.
I'm just curious, what did they tell you based on the photo?
They gave me these estimates right here, Your Honor, and told me it don't cost no $1,500, $1,800, or nothing like that to fix it.
Plus he had took my $100.
Right. She already gave him a deposit, so she only owed him a little bit more, like
it wasn't no
$600.
deposit.
Not no $1,800 and all that.
But he took
And
my
he
money.
put some extra bandangles on there that
Okay.
you see on my auntie picture, banging on it.
What is your countersuit about for harassment?
After I paid the $100, I wasn't gonna give him more. He kept calling and harassing. until I went to the doctor for stress.
Were you calling harassing them, sir?
Told me to call her on the 1st, because that's when she gets paid. Therefore, called her back on the 1st, and she said that she didn't have the money because she had just paid for the title for her car. That's her car. She's the owner of that car.
Okay, and so then, so she gave you $100, right?
Yes.
Have you had the trailer fixed?
No.
An aluminum fender doesn't cost $1,300 or $1,500.
It costs $100.
Where are you getting your quotes from?
I got mine from the distributor, the person, the company that made the trailer. It's a brand new trailer. I would like it to be the way it was when I purchased it.
I understand that, but I have estimates here that they've submitted, and I'm going to consider their estimates as well.
Okay.
So here's the real issue. They're charging you, the parts are $420. They want to charge you $825 for labor. That's the real issue. The estimate that they have and the estimate that you provided in terms of the parts are about the same amount. We have the issue of liability and the issue of damages. On the issue of liability, ma'am, I do find that you were the cause of the accident. You admit that you backed into the trailer and you had no license or no insurance.
No.
So I do find you to be liable for the accident. The question is how much you're going to have to pay in damages. Based on all of the estimates I reviewed from you and also from you, your estimates are basically the same. The only issue is how much it's going to cost in labor. She's already paid you $100, sir. I'm going to order her to pay an additional $700. Total judgment in this case for the plaintiff, your counterclaim is dismissed, $700.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just wish that the relationship between the police department and the citizens of Detroit will come up and be just more friendly toward each other, as though I was to them.
He kept on lying. Ain't no way in the world I want to catch my chest and play Prince Alfred. That was ridiculous. And then I don't wear glasses, and he lied about that. And he didn't know if I had a driver's license or not because I didn't tell him.
Plaintiff Jose Figueroa says he did extensive repair work on the defendant's Mustang, and now it's been abandoned in his driveway. He's suing for the cost of storage fees. Defendant Marcio Escudero says he doesn't owe any money because Jose is taking advantage by trying to get money for a job he didn't complete.
Jose Figueroa?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant Marcio Escudero
Yes.
for $2,400 for the cost of storage fees?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so as I understand it, you and the defendant were in some kind of business relationship where you're a mechanic?
Yes.
You work on cars?
Yes.
And he would have these cars that needed to be worked on. He would get them, you would work on them, the two of you would sell them and split the profit. Correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, but now we're here about one specific car that you say he gave you to work on, but then he never came to get it. It's been sitting in your home for over a year, and you want him to pay $2,400 for storage at a rate of $40 a day.
Yeah,
Right?
$40
For
a day.
60 days?
Yeah.
So start from the very beginning. He approaches you about what kind of car?
It's a 98 Ford Mustang
Okay, a
Cobra.
1998 Ford Mustang. Where'd you get the car from?
From my brother. He belonged to my brother.
Okay, so he approaches you about the 98 Ford Mustang. He says it needs some work. How much did you get it for?
Well, basically, I traded with another car that I had, and it was like a down payment.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it. So then he approaches you, the car needs some work, and what are you supposed to work on the car?
It's had one problem after the other, and it just got stretched out, and now it needs a motor
Okay, where is the car now?
in my garage.
Okay, and how did it get there?
It was towed there.
Okay, so at what point do you realize the car needs more work than I'm willing to do?
Probably, I'd say about 7 months ago.
About 7 months ago,
Yeah.
that's when you decided it needs more work than I'm willing to do.
It needed more work, than there was no funds to fix it.
Coming up on Judge Faith, did miscommunication cause the confusion?
The deal was you fix it up and you sell it, and that didn't work out. But you want to be paid for your labor. So why didn't you sue for that?
Plaintiff Jose Figueroa says Marcio abandoned his Mustang in his driveway. He's suing for the cost of storage fees. Defendant Marcio Escudero says he doesn't owe because Jose is trying to get money for a job he didn't complete.
You called him and said what?
It had bent valves in it, so it needs another motor.
And how much work had you done on it so far?
To get it to look at the pictures I have in here, to get it to look like that took a lot of time.
Okay, so you fixed it up. It looks like that now? Okay, it looks pretty good. What did it look like before that?
It looked like it had been sitting in a junkyard. It had been
I disagree, Your Honor.
Okay, and so you fixed it up. How much time do you say you put into it? How much labor?
Hours.
What about cost of, did you buy parts?
And the cat urine smell that was in it because the cats that were living in it.
Did you buy parts for it? Or you just
No.
fixed it up? Okay,
No,
so
just
no,
fixed it.
it's just your labor that you're out
Yeah.
of. Okay, why do you think, so my question for you is, if you say this car has been there and he won't come to get it, why don't you just tow it back to where he is?
I'm not going to have to pay to have it towed back.
But you want me to order him pay you for storage? Why not have the car towed back to where he is and ask him for the tow? What is that, $80, $100
He never
instead
asked
of
me
asking
to.
him for $2,400 in storage fees?
It's been there for almost a year.
Right, because you were working on it for 7 months.
No. It's been sitting stagnant for 7 months.
Well, no, I asked you how long before you realized that you couldn't,
Oh,
you
no,
weren't going to put any more
Right,
work
7
into the car. You told me 7 months.
Ago is when
Okay, so
no-
for 7 months, you've let the car sit in your garage because you say he won't come to get it.
because there was no funds to fix it.
Okay, but he won't come to get the car. You asked him to
No.
come get it, right?
Yeah.
So
I
why not
needed
have
that-
the car towed
I
back to
needed
his?
to have access to the garage, and I haven't had access to my garage because it's been sitting in there and I can't put it
What
out
do you mean
front
you don't have access to your garage?
because his car is in it.
You're suing because you say you have not had access to your garage because this car is just sitting there. I'm asking you, why not then tow the car back to where he is? You work at a garage?
No, basically I have a shop now.
Oh, a shop. Why not have it towed back to his shop and say, hey, pay
I
me for
asked him
this tow?
to take it to the shop. I asked him if he wanted me to take it to the shop 3 months ago.
Is there any particular reason why you didn't go get the car?
Okay, anything that he asked me, like he said, he put the oil pump, the chain, all the parts that he asked me, I didn't think that he buy it. He doesn't have a receipt
Why didn't
for
you
that.
go get the car when you
I got
realized
the
he doesn't
parts,
want it anymore?
I got the parts, I gave it to him. At the end, I was just waiting for the car, but he never told me anything. You don't want me to come and pick it up, I can fix it or anything like that.
He never called you and said,
He
come and
never
pick up
said
this
nothing.
car?
No, the only
When did you
thing-
find out about this lawsuit?
Well, when he did the lien. He did the lien that he wanted to keep the car or have the money for...
Right,
I
he
don't know,
wanted
for
to
having
put the car in
over
his
there.
name at that point.
Yeah.
And you contested that.
Yeah.
And said, no, you can't. But why don't you at that point go get the car?
Because he didn't want to give it to me. He told me, if you want to get the car, you got to pay me.
Okay, so that's what this is really about. Because you did work on the car,
Yeah.
and now it's at the point to where you don't want to put any more work into the car, but you haven't gotten anything out of it because the
Right.
deal was you fix it up and you sell it, and that didn't work out.
The car is
so
so
it's
far
not
right
about
now.
storage. It's not about storage, right?
No.
But that's what you're suing for.
Yeah.
But what you should be asking him for is, listen, I put this much money into the car. You said you're not out of pocket for parts, but you want to be paid for your labor. So
Right.
why didn't you sue for that? Because you're suing for storage. You and I have the same reaction. Shrug.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
What do you want me to do about
Well,
this?
it's the only thing I could do at this point because I don't have a bar. I don't have a business license.
How much would you estimate your labor's worth, sir?
I told him I would take $1,200 for what I've got into it.
I'm going to order the defendant to pay you half of what you say the labor's worth because you don't have any proof of that, $600 plus another $100 for a tow fee. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $700.
I think Judge Faith's decision was incorrect, that I should at least be given the $1,200 that I would have asked for, and not what I was actually suing for was $2,400.
I think that she did pretty good on the ruling, and I'm really satisfied.
A favor between work friends results in a kitchen nightmare.
I was doing something for my little sister's friend without a contract needed.
This would have all have been settled if Brandon had showed me where my money went.
You have an attitude, and I don't like people who have attitudes in my courtroom. We're not in Miss Gordon's kitchen right now. We're not in her house. We're in my house.
And later, exes argue it out in court over an ATV accident.
This was Saturday afternoon. I crashed, my buddy came back. The bike was on top of me, my helmet was cracked in half, I had a concussion. I don't remember the whole weekend.
I'm suing for the repairs. I want the bike back.
That is a true statement. A woman's worst mistake is to date a loser.
Plaintiff Glenda Gordon says she hired the defendant to upgrade her kitchen floors and countertops, but he did substandard work. She's suing for unfinished kitchen services. Defendant Brandon Rusin says Glenda ran out of money and is refusing to pay because she's broke. He's countersuing for unpaid labor. He's accompanied in court today by Erica Rusin.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Gordon versus Rusin.
Thank you, Juan. Glenda Gordon?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Brandon Rusin, for $1,244 for unfinished kitchen services?
Yes.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $1,200 for unpaid labor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll start with you, Ms. Gordon. Tell me what's going on here.
Around the early part of April, I was at work with Brandon's sister, Erica, and she was showing pictures of a kitchen that Brandon was doing. So I said, oh, you know, I'm trying to have some work done in my kitchen as well. Would he do work for me? And she said, yeah. So she called him. Brandon came to my home and gave me an estimate. He said his labor was $1,400, and I said that was too much. I have a budget of $3,000.
What were you trying to get done for your kitchen?
I was trying to get ceramic tile and a countertop done in the kitchen.
Okay, so the floors and the tiling. Oh, what was the agreed upon price?
$3,000.
$3,000. Okay, sir, you say that did not happen?
No, that did not happen.
So what was the agreement?
She said $3,000 was her budget, but she couldn't go up to $4,000.
She could go up to $4,000. And
Yes.
did the two of you put this in writing?
There's no contract, no.
Okay.
It's just, I was doing something for my little sister's friend. I do work like this all the time.
And you say it was not to go above $3,000.
Right.
So what happens?
We met at Lowe's. We picked out all the material.
Did you pick out what kind of tiles you wanted to use for the floor and the countertop?
Yes.
So you pay him $1,650.
Yes.
Do you dispute
It's
that?
a deposit.
Okay, do you
Yes.
dispute that?
No,
Did
she gave me $1,650.
And what was that to cover?
To cover materials and anything else that I may need for the job.
Okay, does not cover your labor, right?
No, absolutely
okay.
not.
So what happens?
So Brandon did the floor that Thursday morning. When I got home from work, this is what Brandon put down. I called Brandon and said, I do not like this color. This is not what we picked out.
Happened.
This is what he does on the first day?
He said, okay, Ms. Gordon, I will take it back to Lowe's. Brandon stated to me on the cell phone that he took the product back to Lowe's, and it was a discount product, so they would not let him return it.
This is the floor that you put down that day, sir?
This is the Mesa Rush and the Mesa Beige, yes.
Okay. Is there a photo of the tile that you say you picked out, ma'am? May I see that, please?
Lowe's.
That's the Mesa Rust.
Because I see two different color tiles here.
Gray and rust.
Is that what you asked for, or did you
No.
ask for just one color?
I wanted rust and a border.
Okay. Can you walk over and just show me what this is? So tell me where the border is.
This is the border, all the Mesa Rust.
Okay.
Okay? This is Mesa Beige. The whole center of the kitchen is Mesa Beige.
That's not what you asked for?
That's not beige, that's gray.
Did she not pick out the tile for the center of the floor as well?
Well, the color of the floor was changed because she said she didn't like the color to begin with.
Okay, the two of you went to Lowe's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you picked out two different colors.
Yes.
Tile to use.
Yes.
Okay, is this not the tile she picked out at
This
Lowe's?
is the tile she picked out at Lowe's.
Let me see the color of the tile that she picked out at Lowe's. I have
When
did you
the
go back
Mesa
to Lowe's
Beige.
and buy the tile?
On the both times that we met, all the times we asked Brandon for the receipt. Brandon has never produced the receipt.
Receipts for what?
For my products that he bought at Lowe's. This would have all have been settled if Brandon had showed me where my money went.
Show me the receipts of the tile you purchased from Lowe's.
This is from the Hub store.
Not Lowe's.
Picked up at the dock.
Well, this is from Trevor. Who is Trevor? This
Trevor
is
is
not from
the guy that
Lowe's.
checked me out.
Let me see all your receipts.
I don't have, nobody's ever asked me for a receipt before.
I'm asking you for receipts. You're in court now.
Right,
Now I'm
but
asking you for receipts.
But I've never been asked for a receipt before.
Now, this is a receipt from
I don't
Lowe's.
have that, but I got that copy.
This is not
from
a
Lowe's
receipt
where
from
I picked it
Lowe's. This is a receipt from Trevor.
Coming up, did the tile fall off a truck?
So then, I went to Lowe's and got all my estimate prices to see how he had jacked up all the prices.
Do you have proof of the tiles that you purchased from Lowe's?
And later, a disagreement over the damage to an ATV.
In January, he asked if he could take it out again. I was a bit reluctant.
After the accident, obviously had to ride it back to camp. On the way back to camp, is when the motor blew up.
Well, tell me about the accident.
I don't know, I had a concussion.
What do you mean you don't know? You were riding the ATV, weren't you?
Plaintiff Glenda Gordon says Brandon did substandard work. She's suing for unfinished kitchen services. Defendant Brandon Rusin says Glenda is refusing to pay because she ran out of money. He's countersuing for unpaid labor.
When you go to Lowe's, Lowe's gives you a receipt.
Yeah.
It says Lowe's and that you purchase these items from Lowe's.
But it doesn't matter because what I pay for the materials is not what she's going to pay for the materials.
It does matter.
Amen.
It does matter because she wants you to use.
No, because
No, hold on a
doesn't
second. Hold on a
matter.
second. Listen, you know I can see you rolling your eyes
I
at
can
me,
see.
right?
I know you can see me.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Today is not going to go well for you, sir.
That's fine.
One, you don't have your evidence together.
I do.
And number two, you have an attitude, and I don't like people who have attitudes in my courtroom.
Okay.
So you need to tone it down.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, we're not in Miss Gordon's kitchen right now. We're not in her house. We're in my house.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you the way it works. I asked you for a receipt from Lowe's.
Okay.
You don't have one. The answer is, I don't have a receipt showing that I purchased these towels from Lowe's. There's not a company name on this receipt, sir, and you expect me to believe an employee of Lowe's gave this to you as a receipt? I've never heard of Lowe's giving handwritten receipts for anything. Do you have proof of the towels that you purchased from Lowe's?
Not with
Okay,
me, no.
no you don't. Where'd you get the towel from?
From Lowe's.
Okay. You gonna stick with that story? We gonna
Yep.
move on. What else, man? What happened?
So when I got to work on Tuesday, his sister gave me this here. So then, you know, I went to Lowe's and got all my estimate prices to see how he had jacked up all the prices.
Step up. How are you involved in this?
I work with the plaintiff, Glenda Gordon.
But you work with him in his business?
Yes,
You
I help him with his billing purposes, getting, you know, the jobs together, making sure what days he can get out there, things like that.
I'm looking at the entire invoice now, and it has the sealer, the finish, all of these things on there. Now, tell me where you say the errors are on this invoice.
When Brandon itemized everything on a sheet of notebook paper for me to put in the receipt for her, I inadvertently added, okay, finish. There's $250. That should have been a part of his labor. I did not know that. I wrote everything down as he had it on this piece of paper.
When did you receive that invoice?
Brandon finished on the 21st.
Okay, so on the 21st, so after you saw that the towel wasn't the right color, you allowed him to continue working?
Yes.
Okay, and why is that?
Because he told me that when he took it back, he could not
Exchange it
Right, he could
for
not
other
exchange
towel.
it because it was a discounted item.
You allowed him to completely
Yes.
finish the floor, and then you told him you weren't satisfied with it?
I wasn't satisfied when I got this higher bill.
Okay, so what is incorrect on the invoice?
The labor for the finish should not have been on there.
And the price of the towel is wrong also.
Well, yeah, and the price of the tile and everything's wrong. I
How do
washed
you
my
get the
hands
price of the
it.
towel wrong? I don't understand that.
That was my fault. I'm not sure. I don't know.
You say you made a mistake. Where do the numbers come from? Do we have a corrected invoice?
No.
You can have a seat, ma'am. Here's what bothers me. I mean, on your side, if you're not satisfied with the color of the towel and the work, you don't let them finish the job and then say, oh, I don't like it. On your side, I'm bothered because she did ask you for receipts. You clearly didn't want to give them to her, and then you give her an invoice. She says it's inflated, and your witness confirms the fact that it is inflated, that there were mistakes made. One, I do not believe that you went back to Lowe's and purchased the tile that she wanted you to purchase.
Okay.
What you did is you probably went and got a cheaper tile that you thought would probably look around the same, and you didn't pay as much money for it from Trevor. The second thing you did is you provided her with an inflated invoice. It is inflated. She's saying that there are mistakes on the invoice, and then your witness admits it. How is it that before today you have not provided her with a new and correct invoice that we're trying to figure this out now?
Because
That's very problematic.
Because I decided to wash my hands of it and be done.
You didn't decide to wash your hands of it. You're here suing her for $1,200 for unpaid labor.
She started suing me.
Oh, so you just did it in retaliation?
Kinda, yeah.
No, you deserve your labor for that.
But I do deserve my labor for
Already
working.
included in the price.
So here's what we have here. We have a situation where when you find that someone has altered the agreement and not using the material that you want them to use, you don't let them continue work. However, you told her that the towel she picked out from Lowe's had been discontinued.
It was.
I do not know if that is in fact the case, but what I do know is you didn't buy the towel from Lowe's.
I did.
You didn't buy the towel from Lowe's. You bought it from Trevor, and you lied to her. And so after day one, had you told her the truth, you would have been fired and you should have been fired from doing this work. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $1,244.
Erica's still a young lady, still growing, so is her brother. He has to grow and develop better work ethic than what he has right now if he wants to have a good business.
It's ignorant, and nobody wants to deal with that type of
Plaintiff Ariana Leon says her ex borrowed an ATV, had an accident, and is refusing to return it repaired. She's suing for the cost of repairs to an ATV. Defendant Randy Betance says he doesn't know because the damage Ariana is demanding to be fixed was not the result of his accident.
Ariana Leon?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Randy Betance?
Yes.
For $3,028, the cost of repairs to an ATV
Yes.
you let him borrow? Okay, why don't we start from the beginning? How do you know the defendant?
I met Randy about 10 years ago. In about October, we started dating, started seeing each other.
Okay.
And in November, he asked if he could borrow my ATV.
Why did you need to borrow her ATV?
Because me and my buddy were going on to a trip to Glamis to go riding.
All right,
And
and had you borrowed it
I had
before?
borrowed it previously, 10 years prior.
And the two of you were dating at this time as well when you borrowed
It's
it?
in like October, November, yes.
Okay, so it wouldn't be an issue. You're, at this point, asking your girlfriend to borrow the ATV, right?
Okay, yeah.
What do you mean by, okay, yeah?
Well, because we were like boyfriend, girlfriend.
Okay, you weren't like officially exclusive.
Correct, yeah, we were
but
dating.
You were dating.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, go ahead.
So in November, when he borrowed it for the weekend, he held on to it, kept it at his house. There wasn't an issue because there was no rush to get it back. In January, he asked if he could take it out again, and I was a bit reluctant.
So it was at his house the entire time?
Yes.
Okay, however, when I did borrow it in November, because it did sit for 8 years prior to that, it cost me $200 to fix it, plus I paid $150 for the registration.
Right, but
because
then
it
you-
wasn't registered for 8 years.
So you had an accident in the ATV in January.
Correct.
But you think it's relevant information that you did some repairs and got it registered in November? Why?
Well, because after the accident, obviously had to ride it back to camp. On the way back to camp is when the motor blew up.
Well,
now,
tell me about the accident. What happened?
I don't know. I had a concussion.
What do you mean you don't know? You were riding the ATV,
I don't know what
weren't you?
happened, Your Honor.
Oh, you don't
crashed.
remember?
I don't remember. I crashed. My buddy came back. The bike was on top of me. My helmet was cracked in half. I had a concussion. I don't remember the whole weekend.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the condition of the ATV is called into question.
And when I looked at it, there was nothing cosmetically wrong with it, but when I was riding it back, the engine blew.
And you don't think that's because of the accident?
Plaintiff Ariana Leon says her ex damaged her ATV. She's suing for the cost of repairs to an ATV. Defendant Randy Betance says he doesn't know because the ATV was already a wreck.
So where were you riding?
It's a place called Glamis North.
Okay, let's take a look at the photo of the ATV.
That bike is probably, I would say, 6 months old because it's not even shiny like that.
Okay.
Whatsoever.
Is that the ATV or not, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. In all seriousness, were you seriously injured?
Yeah, I had a concussion. I don't remember it the whole weekend.
What happened? How did you get transported back to your location with the
I
ATV?
rode the bike back. On the way back, there was a certain point where it's a straightaway. So me and my buddy took off and we started racing down the straightaway, from what he told me.
Okay, this was before the accident.
After the accident, I don't remember. This is what he's telling me. I don't know. I don't
Did you
remember.
Did you go to the hospital and get
Yes, I
diagnosed?
did when I got home.
When did you realize you don't remember that entire weekend?
Monday.
All right, but the ATV was damaged, right?
Not from the accident, but when I was riding it back, the engine blew.
Oh, is it just a coincidence that as soon as you have this accident and this ATV rolls over, the engine goes out?
No, I know that.
It's
I
just
know that for a
coincidence?
fact because I tore it apart, took it to the mechanic. He said the head's already cracked.
Okay, well, that's hearsay. Do you have proof of that?
Right now, I don't know.
Where's the bike now?
It's at my house.
Okay, let me see what it looks like now. That doesn't even, I mean, what is this? It looks like four wheels.
That's the bike. Well, because I took the motor out and took it to the shop.
That's what it looks like now?
Yeah, see the little purple thing on the left-hand side? That's all the cosmetics, all plastic.
So what's your plan? It's still at your house. It looks like that.
Your
what
Honor,
are you gonna do?
I have
6 months later.
I have an 80-year-old mother who's had 3 strokes. I'm taking care of her.
No.
He didn't even call to tell me about it.
We're not going to talk about your 80-year-old mother.
Okay,
I want you to
that's fine.
tell me, why is it still at your house? Why haven't you paid for any damages to the ATV?
When I found out that it had prior damage, I texted her and said, the bike was already messed up. What do you expect me to do? She never responded.
What do you mean she never responded? You're saying she's not responding in your answer. You're saying she's sending you text messages.
Well, yeah, when she's sitting at home alone or whatever, she sends me stupid text messages.
Like
yeah,
what?
She does. Just recently, she said my name and said a woman's worst mistake, and then all caps, she put loser.
A woman's worst mistake is what? To date a loser?
Me, basically, she's saying.
I mean, well, that is a true statement. Not you.
That's fine.
But that a woman's worst mistake is to date a loser.
That's fine.
That's just a factual statement.
Correct, I agree with you.
I take it
wasn't
you
my
guys aren't
fault.
together anymore? Is it
No,
because of this?
Absolutely not.
You think?
Okay, let me see the text messages. Even though the mechanic told me it already had a crack in the crank prior to this. And she responds, burn me. I don't know you, Randy, but what you've shown me, I worry. You wrote it more than once, didn't seem to be a problem. When you first borrowed the ATV in November when the two of you were dating, you kept it all the way through January and then took it out again and had this accident in January, but now you want to come into court and say, but all of this was pre-existing. I have no idea what you were doing with that ATV for the 3 months you had it. All I do know is that you had an accident in it, and after the accident, the engine doesn't work anymore, and it looks like that. It's a shell now. It's not even an ATV.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
You have certainly not shown me any evidence that this bike had a pre-existing condition and that you should not be responsible for the repairs. I know you say you don't remember that entire weekend, but based on your testimony, you admit that you had an accident in the bike, it rolled over, you had possession of it for 3 months. I don't know what else could have happened during that 3-month time period. And I looked up the value, did some research on the ATV. It's a 1995 Yamaha ATV, correct?
Yes.
The value in good condition is $960. Why are you suing for $3,000?
Because I'm suing for the repairs. I want the bike back.
Oh, okay, well, legally, he's not obligated to pay you more than what the bike is worth. It's the same principle that applies when there's a car accident.
Right, and in Nada Guides, I also found it for $2,800.
Well, I did my research, and the value for a 1995 ATV is $960. This bike is 20 years old. $960 actually sounds pretty accurate. My judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $960.
I feel that the judge ruling is unfair, but it is what it is.
I am going to go get my bike back, and I'm glad that he lost and showed what a loser he truly is.
A nurse and a dog owner disagree over the injuries caused by a dog bite.
I was riding my bike. The German Shepherd, his dog, jumped and bit me on the lower right leg.
I didn't actually see the dog do anything.
So you're saying the dog didn't bite him?
And later, a parrot breeder comes to court to collect a bird from one of her clients.
She had another batch of babies. The only time I found out about them was when I called her and asked for the birds back.
I noticed that you said that if you lie in court, you lose, and if you perpetuate a fraud in your courtroom, you will be held accountable. And that's exactly what the plaintiff is doing, is perpetuating a fraud.
Sounds like she did what she was supposed to do in terms of what the agreement was.
Plaintiff Cesar Estrada says the defendant was arrogant and showed no compassion when his dog bit him. He's suing for lost wages and pain and suffering. Defendant David Dadoyan says he doesn't know because Cesar had a small wound on his leg that didn't need special attention and told him he wouldn't take legal action.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Estrada versus Dadoyan.
Thank you, Juan. Cesar Estrada?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant, David Dadoyan, for $5,000 for lost wages and pain and suffering as a result of a dog bite?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why don't you tell me what happened?
On April 14, 2014, I was riding my bike going home. And on that day, Mr. Dadoyan was walking his dog. And when he saw me, he stopped on the walkway and did not move. He just stood there with his dogs. So I don't have any choice except to veer to the left on a little grassy area close to the street. I have a road bike with narrow tires that it will not do good on grass. So I slowed down to the walking pace speed. And when I came adjacent to Mr. Dadoyan and his dog, the German Shepherd, his dog, jumped and bit me on the lower right leg. I fell on the bike in pain and bleeding, and Mr. Dadoyan just looked at me and didn't do anything. So I asked Mr. Dadoyan some information about the dog and about himself, but he bluntly told me that he's not going to give me anything, any information that I could use to sue him for thousands of dollars.
Is that what you said, sir?
No, that's not what I said.
Why don't you tell me what happened, sir? Your version.
Thanks.
Can we pull up a photo of the sidewalk? Do you want to walk over?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, so it was afternoon, like Cesar said. I was walking both my dogs, actually. I have a German Shepherd and I have a Beagle. I was walking them down the street.
They were both on leashes?
They were both on leashes, yeah.
Were you on the sidewalk?
Yes, I was on the sidewalk.
Okay, and did you see him coming?
I saw him coming, and I actually pulled over to the grass area over here. I actually got off the sidewalk and held my dogs. I got Whiskey to sit down, but Snoopy wouldn't sit because he gets a little excited
What
during
location
walks.
do you say you stepped over to?
I was right over here.
When he was passing you by, where was he on the sidewalk?
He was like here. He had all this space right over here to pass, but he decided to come all the way on this side of the sidewalk. And I'm already standing.
Thank you, sir. You can step back over. Finish your testimony.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I was walking the dogs down the street. He starts coming in with his bike. I move over to the side. You know, usually, especially because I got a canine, if I see a bike coming in, I pull off to the side. I want to give the guy as much space to pass.
Have your dogs bit anyone in the past?
Never. They're very docile dogs and never bit anybody.
So that's Whiskey that you actually had to sit down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whiskey's a good sitter, see?
So what happens? He passes by, you say he's too close, and what happens?
I had him off to the side. I noticed him coming in very close.
I got that.
And I'm trying to pull him back as much as I can. I didn't actually see the dog do anything.
You didn't see him do anything?
I didn't see him do anything.
He's sitting right next to you.
I was actually looking at Caesar. I was looking at Caesar pass.
You don't see your dog move forward at all?
My dog didn't lunge forward the way he
So you're saying the dog didn't bite him?
Coming up, how bad was the bite?
He came back, he's like, your dog bit me, and there's just a little drop of blood coming down. I'm like, oh man. So we stopped.
How do you think that happened?
And later, a broken agreement between bird owners.
You gave her these birds. There was 3 of them to take care of, and you said all you wanted in exchange was a baby from one of the grays.
She misunderstood. I wanted a baby for each bird.
That's not true.
Plaintiff Cesar Estrada says the dog bite caused him to miss work. He's suing for lost wages and pain and suffering. Defendant David Dadoyan says he doesn't know because Cesar startled his dog, and the injury wasn't that big of a deal.
So he passes by on the bike. What happens?
He basically passed by and he came to a stop, and he came back. He's like, your dog bit me, and I looked down and I noticed that on his leg he has a little spot on his leg, and there's just a little drop of blood coming down, one little spot on his leg and a little bit of drop. I'm like, oh man. So we stopped.
How do you think that happened?
I'm not saying that the dog didn't bite him. All I'm saying is I wasn't looking at the dog. But the dog didn't lunge forward or anything like that. I had the dog sitting the whole time, even after he passed, but he was so close, I couldn't pull the dog any further away from him.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what more I could have done, basically, to avoid contact if that's what happened, because I couldn't get any further away. And in the meantime, there's a neighbor over there who was actually watering his lawn. And he came over, he offered a Band-Aid to Cesar. Actually, I have some pictures and a video of this too, but the neighbor then offered even a little bit of tape to cover around the Band-Aid because Cesar was going to ride his bike home.
Did he get on his bicycle and keep going after
yeah,
that?
absolutely. He was
okay,
fine.
and about how long did the 2 of you have a discussion?
We talked for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, so you get on your bicycle and you continue to go home. What was your injury?
The injury is a deep wound, about 1/4 of an inch.
Almost like a fang punctured your leg.
Punctured wound, yes.
Puncture wound. When did you go to the hospital?
The same day on the night.
Okay, and did you have medical expenses, out-of-pocket medical expenses?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse, ma'am.
Oh, you're a nurse. Okay, so you work at a hospital full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, your insurance paid this.
Yes.
So, you don't have any out-of-pocket medical expenses. Your insurance covered it all?
Just the dressing kit, which I have to buy.
What is that, $10?
134 because it's for 10 days until the wound healed.
Okay, do you have proof that you bought that and you paid for that?
Didn't have the receipt, ma'am. I didn't keep it.
You didn't keep the receipt?
No.
Earlier in your testimony, you told me that he told you right there at the scene that he didn't want to give you his contact information because he said he didn't want to be sued for thousands of dollars.
Yes.
You had that conversation with him?
Yes, ma'am.
And so at that moment, a lawsuit has already been brought up and you don't keep your receipt for out-of-pocket medical expenses? I believe your dog bit him, just so you know. And you're in a state where it's strict liability, so you're responsible for his out-of-pocket medical expenses. I'm just trying to figure out what your damages actually are, sir. You're suing for over $2,000, lost time from work, $2,000 for your injury and for pain and suffering. How many days of work did you miss?
I missed three days, ma'am.
3 days of work. And where's your proof of that, sir?
I don't have it with me.
Okay. You knew you were coming to court today?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You knew you weren't going to the beach in Los Angeles, right?
I do.
The only medical bill you have is this $314 medical bill?
Yes, ma'am.
And your insurance covered that?
Your Honor?
You wanted to say something, sir?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I want to mention that I actually have a video of the event. I asked him if I could shoot, and he said, yeah, go ahead. And I went ahead and I took a video of the event.
Did you submit that to court?
Yes, I did. It's
okay,
actually available.
I'll see it.
That's what happens. Fight right there.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You know, it's just painful. That's all, right? I mean, because the leg is full of this got a lot of vein. Legs always have a lot of vein, and that's only a vein. It's not even an artery or anything.
Okay, so it sounds like you were saying it's only a vein?
Well, at the time, I did not feel much of the pain because it just happened.
Uh-huh.
After a few days, you would feel the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I dress it, I'm in pain. I dress the wound. I dress it myself.
Okay, you have no proof whatsoever that you missed a single day of work?
No, ma'am, not with me.
I can't order you lost wages without proof that you missed work. I can't order him to pay you for $114 for a medical kit if you don't have proof that that's how much you paid for it. How do I know your insurance didn't cover that? You have the burden of proof here. You brought this lawsuit, sir. This is totally up to you to come to court and prove your case. Yeah. And if you came to court and had evidence to show that you paid out-of-pocket medical bills and you missed 3 days of work, then I would award a judgment in your favor. But you don't have any of that. But because I do find you liable for this dog bite, and I know it's not a pleasant experience, but you're certainly not going to get the thousands of dollars you asked for, sir. Judgment in this case is in your favor. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $250 for pain and suffering.
It's not fair to just get that amount of money, little amount of money for pain and suffering. I did suffer pain, and $204, that's not going to cut it.
Lying about what happened in the case is one thing, but then showing up to court unprepared is another. So I'm happy about the outcome.
Plaintiff Amy McDaniel says the defendant verbally agreed to give her a pair of baby birds. She's suing for the value of her birds. Defendant Lori Rizo says she doesn't owe any money because Amy has twice refused her offer of baby birds, and the agreement has been broken.
I see we have a visitor in the courtroom today.
We do.
Okay. Amy McDaniel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were suing the defendant, Lori Rizo?
Yes, ma'am.
For $6,070, the value of birds you say you gave her?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning? You tell me what's going on here.
Well, I met Lori through my daughter. They were both teachers at the same school. I gave bird shows at the schools to teach kids about exotic birds.
How did you get started in having exotic birds as pets?
I bought one bird because I fell in love with it, and as you go along, you want more birds.
Okay. What's the most you've ever had at one time?
100 plus.
At your home?
Yes.
Wow. And so the two of you meet and you become interested in exotic birds as well?
Yes, and actually, just to add on to what she had said, my children and stepchildren actually worked at her previous home, in exchange for this particular bird as well as a few others.
Okay, what kind of bird is that?
This is an African ringneck parrot.
How much does a bird like this cost? I'm just curious.
Probably $250.
So, Ms. McDaniel, you're suing over 2 birds in particular you gave the defendant. Tell me about your lawsuit.
In 2013, I was sick. And in 2014, I had 2 batches of babies, one of the African grays and one yellow-naped Amazon. And the agreement was that she feed those babies for me. The Amazon she gave back to me because I had it sold, and she kept the other baby gray. And that was the agreement that
That's not true.
Coming up on Judge Faith, was the verbal contract to provide a baby bird binding?
It's my understanding that in this state, any agreement between 2 parties where there's a value of property greater than $500, that it has to be in writing. There's no such contract here.
Plaintiff Amy McDaniel says Lori refused to honor their verbal agreement. She's suing for the value of her birds. Defendant Lori Rizo says she doesn't know because Amy broke the agreement by refusing to take the birds.
So in 2013, you have knee replacement surgery, right?
Right.
Okay, and then in 2014, you said that things got bad with your legs and feet, and you gave Lori some birds to watch during that time period
take care
because you
of.
weren't able to hand feed them. Then in May of 2014, you said that you gave Lori 2 African gray birds, a mother, a dad, 2 babies, to take to her home and watch and take care of.
Yes.
In exchange for that, you said all you wanted was one of the babies from the African grays. So she was supposed to keep these birds, right? And just give you one of the babies?
Right, but not one of the babies. She misunderstood.
Okay, well, let me just explain the original agreement. You gave her these birds. It was 3 of them to take care of, and you said all you wanted in exchange was a baby from one of the grays. So what ends up happening? How did you get these birds?
First of all, Your Honor, I noticed that you said that if you lie in court, you lose, and if you perpetuate a fraud in your courtroom, you will be held accountable. And that's exactly what the plaintiff is doing, is perpetuating a fraud. This is a frivolous lawsuit. She hasn't even established a cause of action for which she can bring this suit here today. And she's not even being honest. The facts are not even straight. First of all, I have a cell phone bill to show when she reached out to me in May of 2014, at which point she said, you know, I can't handle all this feeding anymore. I have a favor to ask of you. I have a baby African gray and a baby yellow nape that needs finished hand-fed out. In exchange, I'm going to give you the African gray pair. And I hand-fed out the baby African gray, which was returned to her, and the baby yellow nape, which was given directly to the purchaser. And then all she wanted back in exchange was a baby African gray whenever that pair produced.
Do the grays have a baby?
What happened is, yes, they had their first clutch, which was only one baby survived. I offered her that baby. She refused that baby, said that it wasn't a good time for her.
Is that true, ma'am?
I was still sick. I still could not take care of them.
Okay.
Then there was a second baby that she was offered, and she didn't want that one because it was most likely a male. And per her, females make better pets. She preferred a female.
Is that true as well?
That's not exactly true. It was mean. And you can't sell a
How do you
mean
know
bird.
it was mean? Did you come to my house and handle it?
Don't interrupt her, let her talk.
It sounds like she did what she was supposed to do in terms of what the agreement was.
But
it just
she-
wasn't a convenient time for you.
She had another batch of babies, which she didn't tell me about. The only time I found out about them was when I called her and asked for the birds back.
Did you ever tell her that the grays had babies a third time?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, and I have text,
here's
and
what-
I have text message
I have a
exchanges.
Let me see the text messages.
To show
I'm just
you,
curious.
Your Honor, she felt like these birds are doing well for me, so now she wants them back, and
I want to see the phone.
she felt like she didn't get the better part of the deal.
I have a text message that said she would tell me when they hatched.
Well, I think she did tell you twice.
Thank you.
But the third time, she didn't.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
If I accept your testimony, at least twice she's tried to give you a baby, which is all you wanted as a part of this agreement.
No, she misunderstood. I wanted a baby for each bird.
But could I point out, Your Honor, it's my understanding that in this state, any agreement between two parties where there's a value of property greater than $500, that it has to be in writing. There's no such contract here, therefore nothing's enforceable.
Well, that's not true. You can make an oral contract for $50. As long as there's consideration, it will be enforced.
Okay, well, the consideration
Don't argue with me. Don't argue with me.
Okay.
Your understanding of the law is wrong.
Okay.
Another piece of evidence you submitted to the court, Ms. McDaniel, these are text message conversations. You write to her, a part of the agreement was that I was supposed to get a gray back. That's pretty clear that you said that you wanted to get a gray back, one single bird. Twice, by both of your accounts, the defendant tried to give you a baby gray back. And it was sort of like in the conversation, yeah, I'm going to give you all of these things, but there's one thing I do want. I just want to have a baby gray back, but you can have these birds. That appears to me to be the gist of the conversation that the two of you had. You're suing to get the birds that you gave her back. I just don't find that you've proven, A, that there was a real solid contract in place. B, I don't find that she breached any agreement. I think the defendant made efforts to give you a baby gray back. I think your lawsuit is unfounded. Judgment in this case is for the defendant.
I don't know whether she'll give me a baby gray back or the eclectus. She said she'd give me the eclectus back, but I guess if it's ruled in her favor, I don't know what she'll do.
If she still expects me to uphold the verbal agreement that we had, then yes, I would provide her with a baby.